The Lightning Thief by Riordan. Read by Walter Lewis. Look, I didn't want to be a half-blood. If you're listening to this because you think you might be one, my advice is stop listening right now. If you're a normal kid, listening to this because you think it's fiction, great, carry on. I envy you for being able to believe that none of this ever happened. My name is Percy Jackson. I'm 12 years old. Until a few months ago, I was a boarding student at Yancey Academy, a private school for troubled kids in upstate New York. Am I a troubled kid? Yeah. I could start at any point in my short, miserable life to prove it, but things really started going bad last May, when our 6th grade class took a field trip to Manhattan, heading to the Metropolitan Museum of Art to look at ancient Greek and Roman stuff. I know it sounds like torture, but Mr. Brunner, our Latin teacher, was leading this trip, so I had hopes. Mr. Brunner was this middle-aged guy in a motorized wheelchair. He had thinning hair and a scruffy beard and a frayed tweed jacket. You wouldn't think he'd be cool, but he told stories and jokes and let us play games in class. I hoped that for once I wouldn't get in trouble on a trip. Boy, was I wrong. See, bad things happen to me on field trips, so this trip I was determined to be good. All the way into the city, I put up with Nancy Bobofit hitting my best friend Grover in the back of the head with chunks of peanut butter and ketchup sandwich. Grover was an easy target. He was scrawny. He cried when he got frustrated. He must have been held back several grades, because he was the only 6th grader with acne and the start of a wispy beard on his chin. On top of all that, he walked funny. Anyway, Nancy Bobofit knew I couldn't do anything back to her because I was already on probation. Mr. Brunner led the museum tour. He gathered us around a 4-meter-tall stone column with a big sphinx on the top and started telling us how it was a grave marker, a stele, for a girl about our age. I was trying to listen what he had to say because it was kind of interesting. But everybody around me was talking, and every time I told them to shut up, the other teacher chaperone, Mrs. Dodds, would give me the evil eye. She had come to Yancey halfway through the year, when our last math teacher had a nervous breakdown. One time, I told Grover I didn't think Mrs. Dodds was human. He looked at me real serious and said, "You're absolutely right." Mr. Brunner kept talking about Greek funeral art. Finally, Nancy Bobofit snickered something about the naked guy on the stele, and I turned around and said, "Will you shut up?" Mr. Brunner stopped his story and then pointed to one of the pictures on the stele. "Perhaps you'll tell us what this picture represents?" I looked at the carving and I felt a flush of relief because I actually recognized it. That's Kronos eating his kids, right? "Yes," Mr. Brunner said. "And he did this because?" "Well, Kronos was the king god and..." "God?" Mr. Brunner asked. "Titan, and he didn't trust his kids who were the gods, so, Kronos ate them, right? But his wife hid baby Zeus and gave Kronos a rock to eat instead. And later, when Zeus grew up, he tricked his dad Kronos into barfing up his brothers and sisters, and so there was this big fight between the gods and the Titans, and the gods won." Behind me, Nancy Bobofit mumbled to a friend, "Like we're going to use this in real life?"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?